Hi, I'm Chris.
Hi, I'm Dave,
And this is Davo and Zio's Custom Tractor Works. In today's episode, we're going to continue working on this Allis Chalmers CA. We're going to be putting the sheet metal on, the decals on, and we're going to be doing a little tune-up on it as well, doing the distributor, putting new spark plugs in it, changing the oil, filters, that sort of thing.
So we're here with the tire, the rear tire we took off the CA here. Now this tire system, it's a little more intricate than what you see on our 170 or even our D10. Now this tire, it's got a special mechanism to where when you pop the clutch and step on the opposite brake, the tire will actually spin out, and that's to widen the rear wheels. So when we took it off to restore it, we had to throw it all back together. So you see these parts here, they spin down into the wheel, and you have the hub in the center, and then 4 pieces that attach the hub to the actual rim. Now what happens is when you step on the clutch, step on the opposite brake and pop the clutch, these will spin. If you take these locks off, it'll spin out. So the wheel comes out, or the wheel comes in. So we had to put them back together, and we started by putting the first one on in between the locking areas. And then from there we put this one on, this one, and you just have to finagle it, start up top and slide it down until the holes line up.
So as David mentioned, these have a little locking mechanism in it, and if you were to move this wheel in or out, you'd undo these 2 locks, and then each section of a hub has another locking mechanism. Now that we put it back in, we just want to make sure that these get tightened up tight as you can go, and that'll keep that lock in place. Otherwise, the wheel could actually spin loose.
So if you remember when we changed the oil in the Kubota, it wasn't the smoothest execution I've ever done. But you know, I've learned from my mistakes here, and I'm so confident I'm going to do it without gloves again. And we're just going to drain the oil and switch the oil filter here. But I realized the cup technique isn't the way to do it. So we just got to, finesse it. That also wasn't a good execution either.
Crap ton of water.
Don't do what I just did. Christ, it's all over me. So now that we've drained Niagara Falls, we're going to take off the oil filter here. There's a couple ways we can do this. We have a couple different tools for it here. We have one that goes around the filter, and then you squeezes it and takes it off. And we have another one that does practically the same thing. Comes around, and you loop it in through here, and then give it a twist and takes it right off. We have another one that squeezes it too if it's really, really stuck, but it kind of ruins the filter, so we don't like to use it unless you really, really cannot take it off. But now that the oil is pretty much done draining, you can even call that oil. We're going to move that over. Pop off the oil filter. A new oil filter here. We're gonna pull a piece of wood out in the middle. All right, and usually on some oil filters, you're gonna take the old oil and loop it around the seal to lube it up. But this one doesn't have a seal. It's just kind of oil filter. It threads in. So we're gonna take it, put it right over, and thread it right down into the tractor. Don't get it too tight, but you're tight enough. And now we just change the oil filter in the CA. So we're refilling the oil right now, and we're gonna throw in some seal lube. So this tractor hasn't ran in a while. So the seal lube, it's a seal expander, so it'll help stop any leaks, and it's gonna help the tractor run better. So we're gonna put about half of what's in here now. This isn't a full bottle, but just dump it right in where the oil goes. A little more. And we just add seal lube to the tractor, and again, it's going to expand the seals and it's going to stop any leaks.
All right, so part of this restoration, we're actually going to change this over to a 12-volt negative ground system with an alternator rather than the generator that was there. So this is actually a small generator. It's made for, alternator rather, made for a Chevy. I can't remember which kind, but we don't like Chevys anyway, so who cares? But the alternator does fit, and the trick to this is the standard one-wire alternators that you buy for a lot of tractors do not fit in this particular one because of the steering mechanism here. It's got to be small enough to fit underneath. So they do actually sell a kit, looks like this. You take off the original part here, which holds the generator on, and you can bolt in this right here, which will allow that alternator to fit in. So once you put this in, the new bracket is here. There's some spacers that you can put in to get just right to line up with the pulley. And then this is adjustable. So keep these bolts down here loose until you have it in place, and then when it's all set, you can tighten them in.
So we're here at the CA, and we're going to take the temperature gauge and the oil gauge off. Now, it's just, ours is stripped, unfortunately, so we had to use a pair of vice grips here to lock it on and really give it a good twist, but it'll pull right out. So I got it out, and we're going to be replacing it with a brand new temperature gauge. And find the hole up here, take it, and then it doesn't actually screw in by this top part. You have to take the bottom part and screw it in. So, you gotta make sure your water temperature gauge is facing the way you want it. If you want it facing in front and have it facing the front, the way it comes stock, it faces this way. So we're going to have it facing this way, and we're going to just tighten it down. So now it's time to change the oil pressure gauge. There's no actual hex on here, so we found the best way to do it is with a pair of needle-nose vice grips. Clamp them down and just give it some turns there until it breaks loose, and you should be able to just pull it out by hand. We have our new oil pressure gauge, so we're going to go put it in the same spot we took the old one from, just by screwing it in. And leave it facing upright. We're good. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out these spark plugs. This tractor has 4 spark plugs, they're all on this side. And as Chris mentioned in our previous video, we leave everything on and we paint over it because it's easier to come and replace it after than to mask everything. So we're gonna take these off now. It is a 13/16 socket. We're gonna just gotta break it free, and they come right out. So we're gonna do that for all 4. These ones are hard to get to. I think this is a job for the wobble socket. Yeah, you're in this tight spot here.
I think this is a job for the wobble socket.
Wobble socket.
You get in here best with a wobble socket. Got a wobble socket here.
The wobble socket.
We've got a wobble socket on it.
Wobble socket. Wobble socket. Wobble socket. Wobble socket. Wobble socket. So we got our 1/2-inch wobble socket here. Works like a charm. So to get to this one, we're going to take off our distributor cap. So we're going to put the new spark plugs in. You want to start these by hand so you know they're not cross-threaded. Just like the glow plugs in the Kubota. Start them all in by hand. And I have a wrench here rather than a socket because these other two are incredibly hard to get to with a socket without taking off the oil filter in the distributor. Start these all by hand, and then you don't want to crank them super tight. You want them tight enough so they're not going to fall out, but you don't want them super tight.
So for about $20, you can pick up a tune-up kit, and inside this kit, there is new points and a new condenser for the distributor. And there we go. Oops, condenser points. And we're just gonna pop this off. And you'll see underneath here is the old points and the old condenser there. And we're gonna go ahead and replace this, and should be good.
Go.
Once that's all done, we can put this back together. We got a new distributor cap. Fit in, should fit in. There we go. And now we're going to replace the spark plug wire. So what we've done here, just so we have the order correct, we've color coded each of these wires with the part on the distributor. And so when you buy these new spark plug wires, oftentimes they come where you have to cut them to length, and they give you these little ends. So we're going to just take one of these and this one's going to be going here, so I want to have just a little bit of extra, but not too much extra. So we'll cut that off and then strip it. Leave a little bit of wire coming out. All right, so once that's stripped, you want to take the end and slide it in there like so. And we're going to take this piece, run the wire through. Just squeeze that on. Now that will be ready. It's the blue one, so I'm just going to take this tape off. It goes right in here. And the cover is on, and we're done. All right, so we're doing over all the electrical. We took out all the wires starting right from scratch. So over here, we have a one-wire alternator. We ran a wire over here to that. The alternator's all in. There, you can add an extra wire for what they call an idiot light, but we're not idiots. So we're not going to put the idiot light in there, but that would be just to know that your RPMs are high enough that you're producing voltage in the alternator. and we could add that, but we're not going to do it. We have the one wire for charging, which comes back over here. We've got our black wire here going over to the ignition, and then we're going to add another wire for our coil. We put on a new ground here. We also put this battery tray in. Now originally this came with a battery box. You can still buy them, they're about $150 reproduced, but they're kind of a pain if you need to jump start it or whatever. And usually we end up taking it on and off anyway. So we use this plastic battery tray. You can get it for about $8. We added 2 brackets to mount it onto, and then actually with a bolt and a spacer through the bottom. That spacer is actually just a small piece of PVC pipe that we painted orange. And the battery tray, we have to cut a little notch out here, and we're ready to go. So we just put on the sheet metal, and that would include the hood, the front grille, and the strap here over the gas tank. And what we like to do is actually use stainless steel bolts. So stainless steel nuts and bolts on all this. Usually if you try repainting them, they end up just getting worn off when you're tightening it anyway. So we found the stainless steel works pretty good. Yeah. Put it up crooked, but we're not idiots, so we can't do anything about it now. Where do we want this bad boy to go?
I don't know.
Maybe, I'm thinking like right here. Right on this side, what do you think?
Yeah. Got that squeegee? Yeah. final stamp of approval, we put our custom emblem. You can see it, Davo and Zio's Customs. Right on here, we're going to put it on the fender here of this tractor for the final stamp of approval. So in today's episode, we went around and we put some new decals on, and we replaced the spark plugs, we replaced the oil filter, we gave it some new oil, replaced the distributor and the wires, and just stuff along those lines. We put a stack on, and we're just getting it ready, for our final episode.
Did the tires too?
Yeah, we did.
The back tires
were a big thing. Back tires, they look great. But we're just getting it ready.
Between now and then, I'm Chris.
I'm Dave,
and this is Davo and Zio's Custom Tractor Works.